Hello and welcome to ChapterSkip. I'm Sean.
And I'm Joe.
I'm Judd.
And I'm Mark.
Welcome along to volume 15 of the ChapterSkip podcast. Welcome back, Joe.
Thank you all.
Why on earth weren't you here last week?
Yeah, explain yourself.
I was in Birmingham.
Birmingham?
Birmingham.
What are you doing in Birmingham?
That sounds a bit scouse, I don't know.
It does.
Birmingham. Birmingham.
There surely could have been anything in Birmingham that's better than podcasting.
I was watching a band from Canada called Dope Throne.
Ah, yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, so I was watching them. And it was pretty good. Pretty good stuff.
Good stuff. Whilst you were away, we had a little podcast last week. Unfortunately, due to a few technical issues, aka batteries running out and cameras switching off and such business, we did lose a lot of the podcast. So some of it may have sounded a little out of context because right towards the end, we start talking about the movie A Million Ways to Die in the West, when if you actually listen to the podcast from the start to the finish, we don't actually mention that movie up until that point. Whereas actually, we were talking for about probably 20 minutes about X-Men Days of Future Past and A Million Ways to Die in the West, and apparently you didn't record any of that. So apologies for that, but we did set the homework for Chud to watch A Million Ways to Die in the West, so maybe we might get into that a little more in depth and tell you guys what we thought of that movie again. But not again because you haven't heard it yet. And just to remind everyone that didn't listen to last week's podcast...
Bastards.
Yeah, what are you doing? It was shorter, come on. For those that didn't listen, we set each other homework, and just a reminder, what was yours, Mark?
Tall Hot Blonde.
That's it, yeah, we got chatting about sort of catfish and that led on to Tall Hot Blonde. Did you watch it?
I did.
Excellent. Chud, as we mentioned, you were tasked with watching A Million Ways to Die in the West.
It was either that or a rap. And I decided the world's not ready for my rapping.
Oh.
So,
I was looking forward to a bit of gangster rap from you, Chud.
but yes, I have watched A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Okay, and you so very kindly brought me a present in the form of a DVD for Troll 2.
I did.
And yes, I watched it. Now, Joe, a couple of weeks ago, because you weren't here last week, we did say you could watch a movie, Only Lovers Left Alive. Yeah. Did you watch it? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I was expecting that. I was just about to just skip over that and just go, right, you didn't watch it, that's fine.
I didn't. No, I didn't watch it.
You didn't?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, of course I did.
You did?
Yeah.
You did or you didn't?
I did.
You what?
Yeah, no, I watched it last night. It was,
okay.
Yeah, it was alright, it was good.
Okay, well, we shall get into that very, very shortly, but shall we start off with the worst or the best?
You want to go first, don't you?
I was going to say, Chud, go first.
I'm surprised you haven't gone, fuck you guys, and stormed out.
Well, the thing is, it wasn't that bad.
Really?
Now, everybody out there who's listening thinking, what on earth is Troll 2? It's been deemed as the worst movie ever made. Now, I think I've watched worse movies. It sounds a bit cynical, but I thought Big Man Japan was worse than Troll 2.
Oh, what's the matter with you?
Yeah.
No way.
Like, at least Troll 2 made me laugh. Big Man Japan just made me sort of think, not really that funny. Whereas Troll 2 was just so absolutely stupid and ridiculous. And some of the lines were just like, what? This isn't a movie. This is just scribblings of a mentalist.
So maybe it is the best, worst movie.
Yeah, I think so. When you get such cracking lines as, they're eating her, then they're gonna eat me. You know, no! Just like, that was genius. And then, of course, we've probably mentioned it before, and it's a pretty famous line where the father, after the kid does his business on the table, he runs into the room, starts loosening his belt, and goes, you can't piss on hospitality, I won't allow it!
Which is just brilliant.
It is brilliant, and not only the line is fantastic, but it's the way he's playing with his belt, and the way he just delivers that line with such non-committance. It's just like, the lines are going through his head, and he's doing his best to get his lines right and not actually act. And then you're like, oh, he's going to take out his belt and start whipping the child, and he's like, what are you doing, Dad? Why are you loosening your belt? It's like, I'm going to put it one notch will not jump tighter so I don't feel hunger pains. And I suggest your sister and your mother do so too. And it's like, what?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
That just made me piss myself laughing. But then you guys did mention it. I wasn't sure if it is on the podcast or off where we were talking afterwards. But yeah, there's a good sort of beginning, sort of cheesiness and just kind of shitness and bad acting, which is so bad that, yeah, it's bad, but it's laughable, but it's funny. And then you kind of get lost in the middle and you're a bit like, what on earth's going on? Half of this could have been cut out. If it is a really shit 30-minute movie, you probably would have come away thinking, yeah, that was good fun. You know, it looked like it was meant to be shit. Although having gone back to Netflix and watched the documentary about the movie, the director was very, very, very serious, and the writer, she was all like, yeah, I just wanted to make a statement on like vegetarianism and meat and stuff like that.
Really?
Apparently, yeah, she had a load of vegetarian.
I've not watched the documentary yet.
She had a load of vegetarian friends, and you know, they were all be like, yeah, don't eat meat, it's murder and stuff. So she wanted to put like the bad guys and the villains in it as vegetarians, and then obviously the kid at the end, he grabs like a bologna sandwich, and that's like the hero shot. It's like, yeah, he used like a meat sandwich. It's like,
it probably didn't help that they was Italian and they couldn't speak like English or something.
yeah,
so
that
really hard.
they did say that in the documentary as well. Like whenever they filmed it, like early 90s or whatever, the director couldn't really speak good English, and in the documentary couldn't really speak that well, but they were like, yeah, he's got a hell of a lot better. So it just goes to show he must have just been like flailing his arms around, pointing, just like, you there, you deliver that line. And then they probably deliver the line. He's like, well, that sounds what they've written on the paper, you know. Probably the translation doesn't...
Makes you wonder, why wouldn't he just make an Italian film?
Yeah.
Yeah. If he's...
That'd be like equivalent to me going to Germany and make a German film.
Yeah. Well, that's easy, isn't it? Just get two women, one shits on the other.
Yeah, let's say that. Threw that one up.
Knocked it out of the park. So yeah, all in all, like Troll 2, yeah, is the worst movie ever made, but it kind of didn't infuriate me like some movies do. So it kind of had that step up. So it's kind of, yeah, it's a bit of fun, it's a bit of cheese, it's a bit of low budgetness.
It's a bag of shit, but it's got odd moments to make you laugh, basically.
Yeah.
Helps.
And there was a really, really strange portion in the movie which I really didn't understand, and I don't think they went back to revisit it, but that sort of creepy witch type lady, she goes into the camper van and basically comes on to one of the young chaps and grabs a corn on the cob, and I'm thinking, where on earth is this going to go? Is this going to go in some perverted sexual way? And then he's like, I don't like corn, I like popcorn. And then like, she like starts making out with him or something, and then like popcorn just fills the whole like camper van. I'm like, what the? This had nothing to do with the story. It's so bizarre. I'm a little bit turned on, but what the? And then they don't really revisit
Oh,
it.
it's the obligatory love scene, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But they did that. They did it with several characters though, didn't they? There's the group of young boys. You don't really find out what happens to like three of them, and then like the main sort of the boyfriend, he just kind of gets missing, and you don't really find out what happens to him.
I can't believe you're suggesting this film might have plot holes.
Well, it may have a few, you know, but
A few?
yeah,
It's got so many, it's made its own pocket universe.
yeah.
Swiss cheese.
And yeah, the acting was so it was so Shakespearean.
I think to call it acting was an affront to the word
it
acting.
was very loose, yeah.
It's almost that sort of acting you'd get out of like a school play for real young kids.
Yeah.
Like real,
It's like you've given them lines to say, and they just say the lines. They don't put like any emotion into them. Not just like, you know.
Wasn't there a line where it was like, "My dad'd eat your balls" or something like that?
Oh yeah, there's a whole line where the boyfriend, so to speak, climbs into the girl's sort of room while she's working out. I don't know why she was working out like that, just pumping the same iron for ages, getting like real sweaty. And then apparently the dad didn't like the boy, and she goes, "He'll chop off your little nuts and eat them." And it's like, that's a weird line. And apparently they tried to get it like cut out the movie because they didn't think it was funny, but the director was like, "No, this is really funny." It's like, you really don't get American audiences. They don't really giggle at people eating testicles. So yeah, that was a line. And then there's a great scene, like the mother, I think it's between the daughter and the mother as to who was the worst actress in the whole movie. Because there were certain points with a girl and she just does that like random dance in the mirror. Do you remember that bit?
No, it's been a
blocked
while.
it
They go like on holiday to Nilbog.
Yeah.
Nilbog, it's goblin backwards. So they go on holiday to Nilbog, and then for some reason, they all go to their rooms after their hospitality has been pissed on, and then like this cheesy like 80s sort of dance music comes on, and then the daughter just starts like dancing in the mirror.
I do remember.
And I'm like, what's going on? And then like Grandpa just turns up. You're like, this has nothing to do with the movie. And yeah, her acting and the mother. There was a particular scene when they're in the car on the way to Nilbog, and the little kid's just being a whiny little turd, and the girl's being emo because a boyfriend couldn't come along, or a dad's gonna eat a boyfriend's balls or something like that. And the mother just turns around with like the scariest look on her face, just going, "Go on, Joshua, sing that song you always do." And he's like, "No, Mum, I don't want to sing." So, "Sing the song!" And he's like, "Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream." And she starts singing like, "Row, row." It's like, you are fucking scary. You are scarier than the little troll goblin sort of
things.
Yeah, weird looking things. So yeah, all in all, it is a good bad movie because there's so much bad acting that you can laugh at. The plot is laughable. The trolls look kind of how, if we made a movie, you'd want them to look, because they look crap,
Peter Jackson-esque sort of.
Yeah, very much so. Very low budget.
We should make a real cheap.
It's not affiliated with Troll 1 whatsoever.
No.
is
I get
it?
the impression it was originally going to be called Goblin.
Yeah, well, that's
That's what
in
they
the
say,
documentary,
the documentary.
worst best movie ever. I think the writer was like, in the script, like all the cast read the script and they just understood that it was goblins, and then the movie came out and they were like, "Oh, it's called Troll 2," and they're not even trolls.
Because there's another film that came out, and I can't remember what it's called, but it actually got in some places called Troll 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But it had a completely different title.
It's just
name
lazy.
escapes me.
Just come up with a name.
It's trying to work.
No,
We're gonna make a movie called Pacific Godzilla Rim 3 or something. But during the documentary, the documentary is shot and filmed and directed by the kid who plays the little kid. So obviously he goes to find the other cast members and that, and then sort of the ending is like, "So if they made a Troll 3, would you be in it?" And everyone's like super up for it. So there may or may not be a Troll 3.
I think we're the guys to do it.
Or it's like Troll 2 Part 2 or something, because it ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, didn't it?
And when they do like the Q&A,
They're eating my mum!
Oh,
when they do like the Q&A thing, they're ripping the film, aren't they? And he's getting well annoyed, isn't he, the director?
Director.
They're getting
The
really
Troll 3
pissy.
needs to be that the whole countryside's been laid waste and people are now living in got walled off in little
So like
seclusion zones where the trolls, like Attack on Titan, but the trolls and the goblins are expanding their empire and they're like in these little walled off settlements trying to fight for survival.
throwing like bags of like vegetables over, bags of like green things over.
Spud guns and spray grenades.
Oh, random sandwich with green things in it. Nom nom nom. Blah, my troll. Blah. Or they melt. I don't know. Did they turn into trolls or did they melt?
I thought they just melted and ate them, didn't they?
Yeah, that was a weird thing.
God.
So
I need to see this film.
yeah.
I've given it to you, so...
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
So yeah, maybe next week
I've
you
seen the
can
documentary.
add a few things on top and give your critique of it. But I'm pretty sure you'll have the same thoughts as I am.
One of those films that I bought and I definitely don't regret buying it. So it cost me £2.
Oh well, that's
Bargain.
just a Billy bargain, that is.
And I was sold on
Deep
the...
like that.
Because a friend sent me a video off YouTube and it was just like a bit of the film. It's the "they're going to eat me" scene. No, and I was sold on that. And I saw it on, I think it was Amazon for £2. I thought, I'll have that.
Yeah.
So I don't regret it at all.
See, he just reminded me of that whole like they're eating her, then they're gonna eat me.
Yeah.
When one of the other like young boys goes to rescue the plant boy, that whole scene where he's like, "Come on, rescue me," and he pulls his thing off his mouth. And he's like, "Come on, let's go." And he's like, "I can't move." And he starts like pulling the plant pot along in like the most, like, I swear that was like good comedic timing, because I just pissed myself laughing at that whole thing, because it's like, you're probably taking this seriously and the director's like, "Yeah, pull it as hard as you can, make it look like a struggle." And the guy's just like, pulling it along, sort of like pretending to pull it along in like the most comedic fashion ever, and it's just like
Because they made him stand, didn't they, like in that pot for like ages and ages and ages.
apparently they took his
Didn't give him a
Converse
break.
and like screwed his Converse into the plant pot so he could stand in there for ages.
Yeah.
And apparently the kid was like, "Oh, I'm getting a bit, tired."
Yeah.
Kind of. He's like, "Well, you got all the makeup on you. We'll just stick this mouthpiece on you so you can shut up." And I think that's why he had the mouthpiece on him, so he wouldn't complain.
It's a really good documentary.
I think I pissed myself.
It's a really good documentary.
That's not the line.
And then
I'm
they
sure
keep-
there's unions
and then they
against
keep-
things.
And then they keep ripping the film, and he gets really pissy, don't he? Like just saying at the Q&A.
Because everyone knows it's all tongue in cheek,
Yeah.
and the director's like, "Oh yeah, it's getting like it's getting a big commercial hit now. Yeah, it's getting mainstream. People are picking it up and stuff like that." And everybody else is just like, "Yeah, we know this is silly. People are coming with like Neil Bog t-shirts and making, one guy gets a freaking Troll 2 tattoo, but they all know it's in jest." But then the director's just like, "Yeah,
Loving it.
I'm the visionary for this hit.
Yeah.
You got any questions
Steven
for me?"
Spielberg.
And one guy's like, "Yeah, it's called Troll 2. Why is there no trolls in it?" And the director's like, "What? I don't really understand." So he gets like a translator.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Why is there no trolls in it when it's called Troll 2? He's like, "You just don't know." It's like, because they're goblins and you just called it Troll 2 for no reason. Anyway, enough about Troll 2. Shall we talk about another shit movie?
Oh, are you looking at me? So I'm guessing that. Well, it wasn't as bad as I thought. I think maybe I was expecting it to be dreadful,
Yeah.
and it was meh.
Yeah.
It was. It had its funny moments.
Yeah. Just a quick reminder, you watched A Million Ways to Die in the
Yeah.
West.
I want to see this.
No.
Most of those funny moments were delivered by Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
I think he was by far the best thing about that movie. It's just meh. It's just
Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane humour, isn't it? Really.
Did you find yourself sort of sitting there watching it and going, "That was a joke, I should probably laugh"?
Yeah, yeah.
And then not really laughing? Like you said, Mark, last week.
Old man penis syndrome.
Yeah, it's supposed to work, but it just doesn't work.
But like, if you picture you're a 90-year-old man, you're on your deathbed, and suddenly an extremely busty nurse comes in and her buttons are undone, you get a good eyeful down the top, and as you're there on your deathbed, you get a small flicker of memory, and you can remember what it's like to have a boner. And for me, that film was like, I had a flicker of like, oh, I think that's almost what a smile feels like, but it never actually happened on my face. For me, the best character was Seth MacFarlane's dad.
Oh, but
It's
yeah.
like, hey, Dad, fuck off! Yeah, it's like, go on, I'll tell him to fuck off and all.
There's quite a few cameos as well, wasn't there, from various different actors, and
Yeah.
I saw Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
He doesn't say anything; they just get shot. I think it was Patrick Stewart's voice in the dream sequence.
Probably was, because he does a lot of stuff on American Dad, doesn't he? He plays one of the CIA agents. So he probably just lend your sexy voice on this.
Jamie Foxx. Oh,
At the end,
yeah. It's one of those films I would recommend people to watch if they like Family Guy. If you don't like Family Guy, don't bother. Because every time Seth MacFarlane's character Albert was talking, I could just hear that Peter from, and I just couldn't really get over that. And it's just like,
I like Ted.
and the
I thought that
story was completely predictable.
Yeah.
Almost as soon as it started, you could tell, well, they're going to do this, and this.
But did you
And
think
it's
the
exactly
title
what
was a
happened.
rip-off? Because there were 9 fucking ways to die.
Yeah, I didn't even
movie.
count that.
Did you like Ted though?
Ted, yeah, I
thought that
quite
was
enjoyed
really
Ted.
good.
So for me, Ted was kind of average, and then this was like,
Really
it was just a
enjoyed that.
flat line. You just like, you watched it and then went, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't go out.
Yeah, so I'm quite happy with my quick review that I did on our main channel. I've pretty much said what you guys have said, we kind of like American Dad. Seth MacFarlane has his sort of plus points, he has his negative points, We're not all fans of Family Guy. I'm not sure how you feel, Joe, whether you're just kind of like, towards Family Guy, we were sort of like Ted, it wasn't too bad, but this movie, even though you've not seen it, Joe, it's kind of just a bit,
Average.
well, not even, it's below average, because it's meant to be funny, it's meant to be a comedy, but it just kind
That's
of
what I wanted
doesn't
to-
make you
that's what I
laugh.
It
wanted
had
to
its
see
funny
it.
moments, and I found that bits that made me laugh were the real small things. It wasn't the big set piece jokes like the ice block falling on the
Which was in the trailer.
in the trailers, all that sort of stuff. I was like, but there was small little moments, like you said. His dad,
Yeah,
he was quite funny.
That's why I let it sit, because obviously I like Ted, but
And
have
the
to get to go
mustache
and see
song
what I
did
think.
quite make me laugh.
Eh?
The mustache song did quite make me laugh. That was quite funny.
But then again, I think it was just because
I don't
like
think
Neil Patrick
anything made me
Harris.
laugh at it though. It was just like,
Yeah, well, I didn't laugh. I just
No.
smiled a bit.
There was an almost smile twice. I think probably one was the mustache song. I can't even fucking say it.
Mustache.
But yeah.
So pretty average review of A Million Wasted on the West there.
Nah.
Yeah. If you guys out there haven't watched my quick review, click the annotation where it says ChapterSkip. That shall take you to our main channel, and then just search for our videos. It's like a 2-minute review, and you can hear what I said about Million Wasted on the West in a rather quick fashion.
I don't know, just one night, I don't know if you guys picked up on it, but when Albert was talking to the Apache Indians, and he's speaking Apache to them, when he says fine, he says Mila Kunis.
Yeah,
that was in the trailer.
That on our trailer.
That was in the trailer, yeah.
I thought that's quite a good touch.
It was alright in the trailer, but then when he did it in the movie, I was a bit like, it's kind of cringy.
I didn't see it in the trailer, I just did it. The first time I saw it was in the movie.
Right, any last thoughts before we move on?
No, that's it. Meh.
Okay. Save the best till last, Mark.
So Joe, go next.
Yeah, Joe, a couple of weeks ago we were talking about vampires.
I think best till last. I might not have liked it.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
Well,
What are you trying to say?
well,
Did I have an eager look on my face?
I just like to leave you to last, Mark, because it's sort of, it gets you amped up. It gets the fire to the fuel, or the fuel to the fire, as they say.
Okay.
So we'll leave you stewing in your own muck, or what do they say? In your own juices.
Have you seen Max film? What he's
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I haven't seen that.
No,
But I want to see
I'll
it.
get to that in a minute. But yeah.
Yeah. So
No
couple.
spoilers. No spoilers.
I think you're gonna have to
It
leave the
might
room.
be, yeah.
I might have to leave.
I'll try
the
not
room
to.
then.
Yeah.
So I
So
was going to watch it. That was all.
yeah, a couple of weeks ago we were talking about
Yeah.
vampires. Mark, you sort of suggested an indie flick that was going to come out that takes a look at the vampires in a sort of a different kind of direction. So I mentioned a couple other things, and we got onto the movie Only Lovers Left Alive, which features Tom Hiddleston and Mia Wasikowska, and I can't remember the other lady's name. She was in.
What, his girlfriend?
Yeah, she was in Grand Budapest Hotel. Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, Tilda.
Yeah, so it kind of takes a different look on the whole vampire genre.
Again, it's got that sort of like hipster vampire edge to it in a way. But it was a cool story. I like that they don't use the word vampire whatsoever. And they call people like this, like daywalkers and stuff, they call them zombies and that. I thought that was cool. And he's just like a depressed musician, isn't he? And yeah, he's just like a depressed musician, so she wants to come hang out with him and stuff. And I thought it was a fun film. It was, a fun little quirky film.
Yeah, it was like, it's a vampire movie, but it does nothing that you would expect a vampire movie to do.
Not at all.
Which could be a bad thing, could be a good thing. If you're expecting necks ripped out and, people turning to bats.
Not like that at all. It's a lot more storyline. It's all about a story sort of thing. It's not about the action sort of thing to it. But there's some cool little things again, like where he because he's a musician and that, and that's all he's doing is writing stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, this is like Eddie Cochran had one of these guitars. Yeah, I'll see him live. I'll see him play this once. Yeah, and then the guy who got on the guitar is like, what? You see Eddie Cochran? And because he's like this young guy, he's like, yeah, I see him on YouTube. Yeah. He's like, oh, all right, cool. And just things like certain things like that, like just some quirky little things. But no, it was. I did enjoy it. I thought it was good.
It's subtle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very subtle. Yeah, it's I don't know. It reminded me of like the not like Grand Budapest, but that sort of like very stage set sort of style to it in a way. Very simple in a way. Yeah, not like again like very. Not like I said earlier, not a load of action. Yeah. More storyline. So it's
and it wasn't overcomplicated.
And how they're trying to keep up with today's appearances, where they don't want to have to go out and kill and stuff to survive, and that they have the supplies of blood and stuff. And, and trying to live for today, like. Well, he wasn't. He was more like his character was more old school, only with his musician. He had some wicked like setup.
It was what you'd like call like a sort of a traditional like goth, when you just kind of like goth, just hangs around in the darkness, wears black and plays instruments and kind of woe is me kind of stuff. So
and that's all old stuff. And I love this thing where he's like where she rings him up on Skype or whatever on her iPhone, and then he puts it up on the computer. He puts it up on his TV. It's like a gadget every way it works.
It's a contraption.
It's like what? And he makes like contraptions to like keep his hair going as well. And it was from space or something. One of the signals from space to keep his the generator going on his hearse or something.
Yeah, I watched it a little while ago, so I can't remember all the details. I just remember expecting something from it and getting something completely different. So.
I thought it was going to go more in a different way. I really did. I thought there'd be a lot more action.
Yeah.
Later on, as the story goes on,
Yeah.
I thought there'd be a lot more action because obviously, like the girl comes and visits him, the young daughter, and he fucking hates her, don't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And then his friend who gets him things, that Ian guy.
Yeah.
Who gets him all the stuff, his guitars and stuff. And then he's sat in the club with his like shades on and things. And he just doesn't want to be there, or he just wants to write music, and all he can write is funeral music. It's like, what the fuck? But overall, yeah, it was a good film. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's worth a watch. It was one of them worth a watch, definitely.
Speaking of different sort of vampire films, have you seen Thirst?
Yeah, I was just thinking of that one.
Yeah, I haven't. No.
That might be one to check out. I've got that at home.
Yeah,
It's a Korean one. It's done by the guy who done Old Boy and Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance.
Oh, yeah.
And same actor in it as well. I think,
Something
but-
different, different sort of vampire.
Well, if it's the director of Old Boy, I'd be
The proper Old
Yeah.
Boy, that is, not the...
Yeah, of course, yeah. No, definitely up for watching that. From I've seen Old Boy, and I thought that was a great piece of
You
filmmaking.
should
So
probably, though, check out Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, because that's
Yeah.
possibly a bit better than Old Boy. It's probably his best one.
Okay.
It's really... Old Boy is really high for me, but Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance kind of just teeters above it.
yeah.
But I think everything he's done, I'm a bit of a fanboy.
Well, it looks like we've already kind of started setting homework. So I guess I'll watch either of those two movies. What would you definitely suggest?
I suppose
we're
as we
talking about-
suggested Thirst, we'll stick with Thirst then, as we've...
Okay.
Yeah.
Thirst.
Yeah, Korean film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we
You've got it on
both of
DVD,
it?
Chad.
I have.
I'll
Yeah,
grab a
so-
copy
oh,
of
so
it.
Yeah.
Are we both watching that, or shall I watch the other one you mentioned?
You can watch Million Ways to Die in the West, or you can watch what we're going to be talking about in a second. We'll get to that when
Yeah,
it
so
comes
I've got
to
some
it.
other suggestions eventually as well.
But no, yeah, overall I enjoyed it. I like with the women, they feel things as well to know how old it is and stuff. They're within clubs and that, don't they?
Yeah.
I thought there's just some good little things I thought in it really, but it was quite like hipster vampires, but it was a good story I thought.
And nobody was twinkly or sparkly.
It's
and,
always a plus.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So, last but definitely not least, Mark, you had to talk about, or you will be talking about, a movie called Tall Hot Blonde, which came off of our chat about Catfish.
Yeah, we were talking about...
Should I step out? Are you going to give?
No, okay, I won't give any...
because I am going to. I did see it on Netflix.
Because we were talking about
Listen to the
Catfish, because me and Chud were both tasked watching that last week, and we said about that
I
in the
listened to your podcast, and it was nice
But
to hear what you said.
I thought it was a bit too...
Nice.
It
That's what I
felt fake to me. It didn't feel real.
Catfish was all that, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
I think I don't know.
I think it was fake. It just didn't.
It's just.
I
too
thought it was.
nice.
I thought
There
it
was no-
wasn't. But like
Nothing
you,
at the end. They just kind of went, yeah, all right, then.
like you said,
If they killed her,
Yeah.
it would have been much better.
I said, yeah,
But
the
like you
retard
said-
kids went mental and killed everyone.
But like,
Everyone's
I like
mental.
what you said, where you said they might have things, but they're still going to go along with it and set it up as if they set up sort of things, set up some of the
just-
plots. But
In a way, the whole
I
film
think it
seemed
was
like
real,
it was fake
but
to just sell her artwork. There was nothing there other than like, oh, now her artwork's available and she sells it online. You know.
what did you?
Well, I think
Yeah.
we kind of chatted about it, and I just kind of had that feeling that it was so sort of mundane that it kind of had to be real. You know, it didn't go over the
You're
top
gonna
like you
make it
said.
up.
You didn't have the special needs kids go mental.
Yeah,
or
I thought it was.
nobody got killed. So
too mundane.
But they might
And
have.
they was-
But what I'm saying, they might have set things up, like because I was listening
Like when
to
he
the
got his
podcast.
postcard back, it was like, fuck
Yeah,
off.
like things like that. They might have set things up like that, is what I'm saying. But I think it was generally real. Personally, that's my.
But that's why
my
it just
opinion.
didn't feel. I had no connection to anything. I was just
But I
like,
liked.
all right, let's see what's going to happen. You're like, oh, nothing's really happened. You
I
give
like-
away within 20 minutes of the film that you know it's fake, and then you're still just going to plod along, and then like nothing happened.
Listening to the podcast, I like how you said, Judge, that your ass clenched up a bit because I said I was a bit like fuck when they went to the door. I was a bit nervous for them when they went to the door to
Yeah,
confront her.
yeah.
I was just like shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
And it was really anticlimactic.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to hear a sort of a more in-depth review of Catfish, you can listen to ChapterSkip Podcast Volume 14, where myself, Mark and Chud, we talked about it a bit more in depth, which led on to our chatting about Tall Hot
'cause
Blonde.
I guess you've got the impression I quite enjoyed
Tall
Don't
Hot Blonde.
know how to talk. I
Tall.
quite enjoyed Tall Hot Blonde after I'd messaged you and Joe to say like, guys, you should watch this because
Yeah.
I might end up giving spoilers away when we talk about it because I thought it was really good. Really good.
I'm
It
glad
was,
you
it was a
enjoyed it.
proper documentary,
Yeah,
and it
it was.
even had them like, oh shit kind of moments in
Yeah.
it. It was like fucking hell. And I'd watched it, and then I I said to the wife, like, you need to watch this. I think you're really going to like this. And we
Yeah,
both
I'm
sat and
looking
watched it together the next day.
Yeah.
So I actually watched it twice. And it's
I did the same with a girlfriend, and I told her, like, watch it, and I just said, you went to the fucking bit at the end, made me go,
watch that tonight.
fuck.
Yeah. And I felt emotionally connected to it as well.
You want to talk about it?
I'm
I'm going to go out for a minute.
Right, Jack. We'll give you a shout. Bit more room.
But I felt, I mean, I even felt emotionally connected to it. Like at the end when the husband was talking.
That was
and
a really
was
powerful
like,
bit. Yeah.
Like my daughter came up to me and was like, "Did you know?" And he's like, "I didn't know." And he was getting all like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Oh, fucking hell, man! This is like really." It felt real.
Yeah.
Whereas to me, Catfish felt like it had just walked out of a plastic surgery clinic. It was that fake. Whereas this was the one this was laying bleeding to death in the gutter kind of thing. It was like shit.
Right, now we've kicked Joe out of the room. Let's talk spoilers. Should we sort of run down the plot just sort of briefly? Basically, it's on the same kind of lines as Catfish. That's that whole sort of secret identity on the internet kind of thing, and it revolves around a guy. What was his name? Sort of Thomas Montgomery.
Something like that.
It was Tom.
And basically,
Tommy.
Tommy. And speaking about his life, and he's not kind of happy with what's sort of going on. You know, he's had marriage problems. He's sort of impotent, and he's ex-marine, and he's working in a job that basically sort of dead end, and he doesn't want to do. So he wants to have that certain amount of escapism in his life. So he goes online and starts playing like blackjack and poker and stuff like that. And they have chat forums on there, and he meets a person by the name of Tall Hot Blonde.
Yeah, the person who called themselves Tall Hot Blonde and sort of said to him, "Oh, you shouldn't be on here, this is for younger people." And I think in a moment of panic, he kind of went, "Oh no, I'm 18.
Yeah.
And then he got stuck. He got all wrapped up in that persona, pretending he was this 18-year-old called Marine
Tommy.
Sniper.
Yeah, Marine Sniper, yeah. So
he actually believed it. It was his alter ego. He became so obsessed with that character in his mind. In his mind, Marine Sniper was a real person.
Yeah.
And he was almost the fake one.
Yeah.
Which was...
It was
like, well, he's seriously got some issues.
and then it just goes on to how that develops, and then they bring in a third character, which is almost what the movie's sort of based around.
Well, they've done it. He's narrating it. Isn't
Yeah.
It?
Now
he told you at the start, like, that he's dead.
Yeah, that was a major problem I had with it. It made me feel a bit disconnected from the whole thing because, spoiler alert, completely going to spoil the movie. So if you're listening, Joe, definitely close your ears right now. The third character is a chap called Brian, I think it is. And Brian's narrating the whole thing, and basically at the beginning he sort of says, you know, "Oh, I'm narrating this movie, I'm part of this whole story," and then I'll get like a bullet in the back of my head or something like that. And you're a bit like, okay, what's going to go on here? So then later on in the movie you find out that this Tommy Montgomery guy actually gets jealous because there's a bit of a love triangle between Marine Sniper and what's the...
Tall Hot Blonde
and what was
Brian.
It was like Beefcake something.
No, it was Beefcake because, Tall Hot Blonde and Marine Sniper were having a bit of a thing, and then it kind of fizzled out, and the next thing you know, she's then talking to Beefcake and sending him messages of like, "Here's me in bikinis and stuff like that." And then
it just so happens that Beefcake and Marine Sniper work at the same place, so obviously kind of word gets around, and you know, jealousy kicks in, and it all kind of comes to this climax where Marine Sniper does what a Marine Sniper would do and takes this guy out like in a pretty sort of brutal fashion, doesn't it? Pretty much just.
And he pre-planned it as well by flattening one of the tyres. It was like the guy had no fucking chance.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. When that happened, I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
I knew this was going to have a more dark tinge to it because you mentioned about Chud about the darkness around this, but then that happened. I was a bit like, I kind of expected it to happen, but they kind of dealt with it in a really kind of.
That's why I like the narration, because straight away it told you like, "This is my story and I died," and like, oh fuck, okay, he's put you straight in that somber place right at the start, and when you know it's based on something true, you kind of like it. It's a completely different mindset.
A little bit. It did pull me away from the story a little bit, knowing kind of that he was narrating it, because it obviously wasn't him. Because he was an actor. So I was kind of a bit like, I was pulled apart just a little bit. I was still involved in the story and still emotionally involved in it, but that pulled me out a little bit. But yeah, overall I thought it was quite a powerful documentary.
Yeah, I'm not going to give away like the final thing to do with the blonde and all that, but it was like...
when that happened, I was like, what the fuck?
But I agree with...
Shit! I didn't see it coming.
The dad of the real girl had kind of said, when they said to him, like, "Do you think she should be in prison?" He was like, "Yeah." And I'm like, I fucking agree.
Yeah, that was probably... That was the climax of the movie when I thought, you know, I don't care about like the whole plot, the story, the jealousy, like how stupid people come across as, because it's a bit like, there's this 40, 50-year-old bloke going online speaking to an 18-year-old, pretending to be an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
It's a bit like, just kind of grow the fuck up, you know, and get on with your life and man up or do something about it. And then that dad comes on, you're just like, fuck, I can't think of any other childishness. All I can think about is like, this poor fucking guy, and like
had no idea what was going on, and
if he was an actor,
he's not an idiot like the fucking Yarp bloke out of Catfish. He was just a genuine like I had no fucking.
And if he was an actor, like I would say he would be worthy of an Oscar because that performance. I know it wasn't a performance; it was genuine, real life emotion. But it was just like you can hear like the heartache in his voice and in
he
his
was
heart.
on about he wanted to contact Brian's family, didn't he? Kind of thing, and it was and it was a proper. That's why I sort of properly connected with this, whereas Catfish was just too. There was nothing. There was no emotional link for it. It just were. Yeah, we're going to make a documentary. All right.
See, I'm glad I went from Catfish to Tall Hot Blonde because it made that natural progression of sort of, you know, softcore kind of internet faux sort of identity documentary up to the kind of the craziness, you know.
I think if I'd have watched Tall Hot Blonde first, I would have disliked Catfish more.
Yeah.
Because I'd have been like, oh, it's nowhere near as powerful as ours.
And there was another thing that really annoyed me about it as well. When they were showing like the messages between the two people, the fucking spelling, man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
I hate text speak.
Yeah. I love you too.
I mean, I don't know.
No.
If they took actual transcripts from just.
I think it was. I'm sitting there going, your I is lowercase, you fucked up. I'm like, God damn it.
I think it must have been, obviously, when they were building up the court cases and that, they took all the transcripts. And that's
Yeah, well, they
probably
showed little bits of it and it looked like it was, you know, literally like I, LUV, LU, you know, you, two.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, I can't
It
read
was
this.
cringe. Some like reading personal messages like that between two people that you don't know is quite cringeworthy. But
it's weird.
It did make me go. Oh,
when you think of it, between Tall Hot Blonde and Marine Sniper, you're a bit like, oh yeah, I can imagine, you know, this 18-year-old sort of Marine guy. He's a tough guy and he wants to, you know, woo this lady. And there's this sort of tall hot blonde and she's 18 and she's graduating. And then when you remove yourself from it and you go, wow, this is this guy and this person messaging, you're a bit like, oh, that's just weird.
It was as well, as soon as them two had kind of had their falling out and then she started getting with Beefcake and she started sending him the same bikini photos that she'd sent, and I was like, that's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Just straight away going, hello, here's photos of me in a bikini. Like, it's a bit fucking odd. But then, the whole...
I mean, the guy, Tommy, whatever his name is, he did try to back out, didn't he? He did try to escape, but she wouldn't let him. She just kept coming after. Once he started to withdraw himself from the situation a bit, she'd get her claws back in.
He was hooked one.
It's weird though, because he did murder someone, but I sort of blame her more than him.
Yeah.
He had mental problems.
Yeah, definitely. And emotional sort of like commitment problems and
I
stuff
think
like that.
He seemed like he had a certain amount of acceptance when they were interviewing him. He knew what he'd done.
Yeah, and whereas they said about her, that psychologist or psychiatrist was saying about forgiveness.
Yeah.
But they have to feel sorry for what they've done for you to forgive them, and she doesn't.
Yeah.
And then what I thought really bullshitted at the end was like, oh, she's writing a book based on the dangers of going on the internet, and I'm like, what a cunt.
Yeah. There was only one word to describe her, wasn't there? And that was it. So for people out there who, you know, maybe skipped forward a little bit and are listening now and didn't hear any of the spoilers, and even if you did hear the spoilers, we thoroughly recommend you hit this up on Netflix. It's Tall Hot Blonde. It's all one word. It's TALHOTBLOND. Go search it out. It's quite sort of a powerful, emotional documentary. And it brings to light a few issues of going on the internet and internet safety, doesn't it?
It was one of those little gems I just found. So no one recommended it to me. I just thought, I'll just stick that on. See,
I'd seen it on there plenty of times, but just sort of thought, there's
a lot
it made me feel a bit bad about my comment last week where I said, if you go on the internet and believe what people tell you, you deserve what you get. And I'm like, no, he didn't deserve that. So I'm like, I feel a bit bad about that. But, seriously, don't fucking believe people. Apart from us, but...
Shall we go get Joe?
Yeah, let's go get Joe. Right. So in the meantime, Mark, it's just you and I now.
Okay.
Down to two. You got anything decent to talk about this week?
I've got a few things. You mentioned you made a joke about Pacific Rim, Godzilla. They've actually got a date for Pacific Rim 2.
I was going to talk about that as well.
Okay.
I see a little video that Mr. Del Toro put on the legendary YouTube page. It's like a 30-second clip.
Oh, right. I've got a quote for him, but I'm
Hey man, I'm Guillermo Del Toro. I was like, wow.
Is that your best?
I forgot you were Spanish. And yeah, basically just sort of
with
says,
your name Guillermo.
Yeah.
I completely forgot.
I thought it was going to be like, hey guys, this is Guillermo del Toro, and I'm going to be bringing you. But he's like, hey man, I'm Guillermo del Toro. But anyway, what were you saying?
So, yeah, it's now April 2017, so you've got a few more years to wait yet. Pacific Rim 2 we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and in the meantime, they're going to be developing a graphic novel for Pacific Rim, which is called Year
I
Zero.
think that's actually out.
Is it
It's
out?
a
Is it?
prequel to Pacific Rim, yeah, I think that's out, but they're going to do more of it. I think they're going to do Tales of Year Zero or something.
Yeah.
Or there's a graphic novel out already. I had a look on Amazon today, actually, just to
Okay.
double check that.
Yeah.
But they are going to do an animated series.
Yeah, I was just trying to look through my notes. I remember him talking about an animated series. I wasn't sure if that's something he was doing or whether it's something to do with Pacific
It
Rim.
said that there will be an animated series and a continuation of the graphic novel. That's all I've got. And then just got a quote from Del Toro, which have I got to do it in the voice?
Yeah. Hey man, Guillermo del Toro.
No, this is terrible. He said, here it is, you read it, because you're there it is.
What's his name? It said there would be an animated series.
No, but no, you read. Oh, God damn it. I got it with the quotation marks.
Oh, I ended with a quotation mark. The characters I love will return. Raleigh, Mako, Newt, Gottlieb, and who knows, maybe even Hannibal Jow. But we're taking them into a fresh territory that would display amazing sights and battles. The first film set the stage and now we're ready to have a blast. I don't know what I turned into, what's his name, like the little mouse that runs
I
fast.
couldn't really concentrate on
Well,
what you were
Speedy Gonzales.
saying.
Yeah, Speedy Gonzales. Sorry, Guillermo, that I just totally just...
See, the thing about taking it into a fresh territory, it's kind of like, are we going to their world now then?
Well, the thing is...
Rather than just repeat.
We've all seen Pacific Rim here, haven't we?
Yes.
Spoiler alert for people that haven't seen it. Basically, it ends.
awesome.
Yeah, basically it's awesome, and it ends with Mako and Raleigh basically dropping a nuke into the Pacific Ocean where the kaijus come out, and basically they fuck it up. So where does it go from there? Does that create another rift elsewhere?
Where we said it was awesome, though, I think it's the opposite of Troll 2. Whereas Troll 2 is the
bad acting,
the
shit budget,
the best shit film ever. This is like the dumbest, the best film ever in a way. There's a lot of dumb things going in it, but you kind of get wrapped up in. You're like, fuck me, this is awesome. He just twatted him with a ship.
Yeah,
you're just like, wow.
Yeah, it's awesomeness for awesomeness' sake, isn't it?
There's a lot of stuff. It needed more characterisation, like the Russians and the Chinese guys and all this.
Just
But
walk in sort of thing.
you don't care because you're sitting going, it's a fucking big monster getting smacked by a robot.
Brings out a little boy in you, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. So, where do you guys think it's going to go? Where does it go from dropping a nuke into where the kaiju spawn from?
They've got to go into their world, otherwise you're just going to repeat what happened.
Yeah. Good point.
It's just going to be, we're going to send more monsters, and they'll be like, yeah, we got more robots, and it'll just be like, yeah, we saw this in the first film.
Or maybe like years have passed, and then a couple of people, maybe Riley and Mako have sort of retired because they're like, yeah, we killed all the kaijus, there's nothing happening now, and then like another rift just opens, and then sort of a little baby one comes through, and then they're like, yeah, they get my back.
Get in the wheelchairs and let's sync up.
And then they're like, right, okay, instead of just fighting them as they come out, maybe we, like you say, go into their world and just start mashing them from the inside. But I don't know.
Be interesting to see where it goes.
Guillermo has got a good visionary eye, so I trust where he's going to take that.
There was also, I noticed, sticking with Guillermo, I forgot his name. He's in it, oh, god damn it.
Charlie Hunnam.
No.
Idris Elba.
No.
Charlie Day.
Where's my note? The one who... Hannibal Chow, I forgot his fucking name.
Oh, Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman, thank you. He wants to do a Hellboy 3. I think they're trying to do like a little petition-y thing for it or something.
Okay.
Well,
He kind of saw it as a trilogy, and he's like, we need to finish it, because it was to do... I don't think they've still answered the whole Hellboy using his hand to end the world kind of thing. There's like, no, we need to do one more to finish it all off.
Well, as somebody who's not... I think I've seen about 20 minutes of Hellboy 1. Haven't seen Hellboy 2. I don't really have much to say about this, unfortunately.
Right, okay. No, they're really good films.
Yeah, I'm quite enjoying it.
Who's it who plays his mate, the skinny aquatic guy?
Doug Jones plays
Doug
the
Jones.
fish guy. You on about?
Yeah, who plays him?
That's Doug Jones. He's the
Plays
Abe
Abe.
Sapien.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's Seth MacFarlane though, who played the guy, the fish tanky guy, the German. He'd done the voice and everything. I'm sure I heard that the other
Shit,
day.
I can't remember. It's been. I'll
He's
tell you,
only
what, it's
in the
been a
second
long.
one.
I think I'm going to watch Home again. It's been a long time since I've seen that film.
It is a good film.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Great film.
Both of them are good. Joe, I think, was it last week after the podcast? I know we bored Sean to death with about video games.
I sat there for an hour and didn't say a single thing, which is very unusual for me.
But this is right, it's just film related because we mentioned, was it Project Zero or Fatal Frame as it's known in America?
Yeah.
They're doing a film. There's a trailer out now. I can't find any information of who's in it, who's directing it, who's writing it. The rumour is they're going to do 2 of them, but the first one, bizarrely, is only going to be released in Japan. And the second
I was
one's
going to say, is it
be...
going to be Japanese? Because
Yeah.
it seems like
But they seem to be,
really
the first one is only going to be released in Japan, and then the second one will be a worldwide release.
I will be able to get it though. Won't I?
Yeah, I thought it was just imports and people are just going to put it on YouTube or whatever. But I'm intrigued by that because it was a really good ghost story.
Yeah.
And to play a video game where you don't have a weapon, really, you got a camera.
It's terrifying.
And it was proper
I've heard
creepy.
of this. I've heard of this.
So I'm looking forward to seeing a film of that.
I watched the trailer for that computer game. I don't know if it was either Dead Rising or that Dead Island where he's jogging.
Oh, Dead
on the
Island
beach.
2
Is it
is
Dead
got a new
Island?
one.
That looked quite
The
cool.
jogger becomes a zombie.
Yeah, that looked quite cool. I thought. I'm looking forward to seeing that. That'll be on the next gen.
I would think
What's
so.
that Dying Light?
That's on both, isn't it? That's on next gen and
What is-
current gen and old gen now, I guess.
What's this? What one?
Dying Light. It's a bit like Dead Island, but with parkour, kind of.
Oh right.
Anyway,
Very cool.
Anyway,
enough video games.
we should do a separate podcast for video games.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Well, by all means, if you guys want to meet up for another night in the week and chat about video games, I'll set up the camera and I'll leave. Come back an hour
I
later.
played Mario 64 once.
I'm like Just do it in your little studio and you leave them in there.
Yeah, it's lock you guys in there.
Yeah.
Right, Jonah Hill has been a bit of a naughty boy.
What's
The gay thing.
Just ruin it, Joe.
I haven't heard
Oh,
this
I
one,
on telly.
Basically, Jonah Hill was kicking about and he had some sexy Hawaiian shorts on, and then he was accosted by a couple of guys from TMZ or that kind of sort of trashy, sort of online paparazzi type thing. And basically, Jonah Hill's just kind of like chilling in his cool shorts, and the guy makes a comment and just sort of says, he says, "I like your shorts, bro, they're pretty sexy." And Jonah Hill's line back to him, instead of like saying "screw you" or "fuck off" or "thanks, bro" or whatever, he just goes, "Suck my dick, you faggot." So basically, he's got in a lot of trouble for that, for using a homophobic
that
racial
almost
slur.
sounds like one of his characters.
It does, doesn't
Like
it?
something.
But if he'd have said that in a
Steph
movie,
would
Yeah,
have
but
said.
surely it's the tone in which he said it in as well.
well, I can't tell from the tone because
Yeah,
I
that's
haven't
what
got
I
the
mean.
video.
You don't
Whether he
know
just
how
went,
much
"Suck my dick, you faggot," and then people would be like, "Ah, you're so funny, Jonah." Or if he's like, "Suck my dick, you faggot."
Why would you say that to someone who's complimenting you? Well, actually, unless he actually meant it.
Well, no, I think the guy was like taking photos, and I think he was mocking his fault. I think it was more of like, "Like your shorts, bro, pretty sexy," and I think Jonah was just like, "You can take the mick out of my weight, out of my hair, out of my religion, out of my comedy, but my shorts, suck my dick, you faggot."
Something about... Oh, sorry, Joe, was you going to...
No.
I was just like, is that
Have you
so,
seen
so
the
bad?
apology?
I haven't. No, I'm
He's on the Jimmy Kimmel show, and he said, "Look, I have to apologise from my heart." He says, like, "I've got gay friends, and I really should not have said that." He said, "I've embarrassed myself." He says all these things.
Yeah, but I think when celebrities have to go and revoke what they've said, it's just a bit like, I don't know.
He just felt really bad for saying it because I think he's got like gay friends, and
Yeah,
he
but
said
obviously-
he felt bad
Yeah, but
and
most-
stuff, and all
you know,
that.
Most people
some of
have
that
gay
is only
friends
a-
or somewhere or other, and you'll still go call a mate if he was like a daft puff or something. It's context.
It is, and it's a bit like, if somebody's pissing you off in the heat of the moment, piss off your
I'm not going to get offence if someone calls me a fat bald twat. I'm like, accurate. Well done.
Yeah, well done for describing me.
Very
Yeah, but what about
observant.
if you were like, "No shorts, bro"? They're like, "Shut up, you skinny twat." You'd be like, "That's not accurate."
You're factually incorrect,
Yeah.
you buffoon.
Nice hair, but then I guess that could be taken as
My beard.
you haven't got any hair.
That could be a beard compliment. That's still hair.
Could be.
It's a bit puby, but it's hair.
But people use. I know it's not nice to kind of use those kind of slurs and stuff like that, but Do you think it's that bad?
That is one of those slurs, like, I think it's a personal thing, like, I don't like that word. It's just something about, like, minge. I don't like that word either. I just don't like
He didn't
those
say,
words.
suck my dick, you minge.
Suck my minge, you
But
faggot.
it's not so much what the word means or represents or the idea of it. It's literally...
He should have got out of it and said, I simply called him a meatball.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, it's just... So for me, like, I mean, I've got gay friends, but I don't think that would revoke, I'd use that to redeem myself
faggot's
if
a
I'd
fish,
said
isn't
it,
it?
you know?
No, it's a meatball.
That's a meatball.
I thought it was a fish. A faggot.
Faggot fish. We're not going to have this conversation, otherwise we're going to have to apologise.
Oh, really?
I
I'm
believe
sure,
you said Kanye West is a faggot fish.
I'm sure fish they're faggots, yeah, they're fish.
No, it's a
Meatballs.
meatball.
Right, I'm going online because they are.
I've never heard of a faggot fish.
You
I
know,
swear, alright, I'm going to have a look.
Going
Brains.
faggot fishing.
Mr. Brains, it's Mr. Brains
Brains faggots, which always makes me laugh.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Right, I'm going to look on my phone in a minute.
Yeah, it's just one of those words I don't like.
Yeah,
Like,
that's fair,
it's just
but...
certain words people don't like being called. And,
But in heat, it's not as if he kind of set out, and it wasn't. I see it. I haven't seen the footage or anything like that, but I determine this as a reactionary kind of thing. Somebody's in his face, taking photos of him, annoying it. He just wants a bit of privacy or whatever, and the guy's like, "Yeah, no shorts, bro. Yeah, well, sexy," and he's just like, boom, quickly off the top of his head. Suck my dick, you faggot, and he could have said that in a movie and people would have pissed themselves laughing.
Yeah.
But the fact that, it's in real life and now he's an Academy nominated, actor.
It's always a difficult thing to do when someone does like a homophobic comment or a racist comment,
Yeah.
but it's all down to intent.
Yeah.
I think you can do it as a slip of the tongue and be like, oh shit, I didn't mean that.
Yeah.
But if you've said it with hatred or something, then you are a douchebag. But most people make like homophobic comics to them, especially blokes. We're all like,
Yeah, but like the thing is now, I don't know what the race of the paparazzi person was, but if the guy was white and then Jonah dropped an N-bomb on him, would people be even more incensed? Or, they'd probably be even more incensed if the guy was black and he dropped an N-bomb.
Yeah.
But it's a bit like, was the guy actually gay? If he wasn't gay, does that mean anything to the guy?
No.
It's like, if you called me an N-word, I'm not going to say it because we'll probably get in trouble for it as well.
Shut up, you girl.
You nagger.
Yeah. Shut up, you maggot.
Nagger.
We always go back to South Park, don't we?
But that's the thing. If you call me something I'm not, does that offend me? But that's the thing. Or does it offend other people who haven't been called it,
Brick.
If you call me a bald twat or something, I'd be like, but I've got hair.
No, you'd go, but I've got lovely hair.
Yeah.
And you do a slow motion switch.
I've actually got hair because I'm worth it. But then, but in this context, right? I'm Jonah Hill, but I've got lovely hair and I'm me, so I'm not really Jonah Hill at all, right? And Chud, you're the paparazzi guy, and you want to get a picture of my sexy, sexy hair, but all you can keep an eye on is my sexy, sexy shorts, right? And I'm like, get out of the way, bro. And you're like, yeah, nice shorts, bro. And I'm like, piss off, you bald twat. And then Mark's like, fuck you. It's like, I was saying at him, Chud's not bald, but like, you get offended. Is that, I wasn't directing it at you, but can you get offended at something I say to him that affects, I meant you're probably not that offended by being called bald, are you?
No.
I was going to say, I hope you're not, because you're going to hit me in a minute.
I wouldn't even be that bothered if someone I'm telling you said it's official, all bald people are twats. I'm like,
Most
a
of
bit
us,
of a bell end, to be fair, so
85% of us are.
No, I don't know. You're probably asking the wrong person because I'm not easily offended. To a certain extent.
Okay. But it's just one of those things, I don't know, like you say, we're not easily offended. We'll...
Yeah. I know there's a line in the sand and I've gone way fucking over that a long time ago.
Yeah, that's the thing, but just food for thought, we're getting a bit deep and a bit philosophical and a bit political here. I just wanted to kind of make this podcast a little more highbrow. Now, Mark, let's talk about porn.
Yay!
Let's move on, you cunts.
I take offence to that because I don't have one.
Don't let me call you a minge because you'll get upset.
Hope my mum doesn't listen to this.
Sup, John's mum?
She really doesn't like the word cunt.
My wife will listen to this, and that's 3 times we've said it now. So.
What, the word cunt? They
Sorry,
don't like the word
Amy.
She moaned when Joe said it the other week. He said cunt twice. So she didn't moan, but she was like, "Oh, Joe."
I wasn't even here last week.
No, the one before that. The last one you was in. I can't remember what you said. You said cunt twice.
Well, we said it about 12 times.
Yeah, I was going to say. This is the
And I
concept.
said it- I said
We've
it
now
once.
filled our cunt quota for the day.
And the irony is, I ain't said it once.
Yeah.
It's all about cunts. Honestly,
Talk
about cunts.
Let's go.
I've finally done my sort of homework I was going to do, and I'm bizarrely titled porn movies. But I've decided to keep it in the ones that are based on movies.
Okay.
So you get like there's always
Star
lots of
Wars
spoofs. I've got, yeah. I'm going to ignore stuff that because there's Batman Triple X and Avengers Triple X and Captain America Triple X. Not very
Is it
exciting.
Triple X Triple X?
No, I don't know. There might be, but the only one I'm going to keep in that vein because it was just so weird. There's an ET Triple X.
I bet there's like dildo fingers or something.
It's
in
got to be like his cock glows like ET's finger. But that's
No, we're not
weird.
just randomly talking about weird porn titles. It came about when we had a podcast probably 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, you brought in some homework, myself, Chud, and
I randomly mentioned a weird porn film. I said something about airtight grannies. Wasn't
yeah, and then you said you had a list.
I don't know why they're airtight or how that would help them.
Yeah, and you said you had a list of weird porn titles,
Yeah.
and you were threatening to bring them in. And then over the past couple of weeks, you've sort of come into the room and be like, "Sorry guys, I forgot my porn titles." And this week you've actually brought them along. So
These are all obviously movie spoofs. You can probably guess what they are. Tits of Fury.
Star Wars.
How about Rambone?
Rammed Bone.
Or The Booby Guard? this one's trying. This next one's trying
Start singing the song. And I will always love boobies.
Well, that's true, really, I suppose, yeah. This next one's trying too hard to put like a smutty word in a normal thing. The Anus Family. Do-do-do-do.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Do-do-do-do. And the Flint Bones. What are the phones?
shaking your head there, Jen. You're not impressed, are you, dude?
How about... I feel... Because E.T. is obviously like a kid's film. I feel weird when they do porn based on like a kid's film, such as The Little Sperm Maid. I wish I was making that up.
There's the Edward dildo fingers, isn't there or
I
something?
hope your wife didn't
Oh,
look over your
Edward
shoulder
Penis Hands.
Yeah, Edward
while you were
penis hands, I
researching
knew
this.
that. Edward
Oh.
penis hands.
No, I've done this at work. If you want to go to Hogwarts, there's always Hairy Twatter.
The shaving
That's
rides
horrible.
private, isn't there?
Well, there is, isn't there? What else we got? A Tale of Two Titties. Well, this one I quite like. Cliffbanger.
Cliffbanger.
Whereas these ones aren't trying hard enough with Tits a Wonderful Life. Whereas I quite like Moulin Spooge.
So that's inventive. That's good.
Yeah.
Moulin Spooge.
I'm not too sure about One Fell into the Poo-Poo's Nest.
Rough.
But I quite fancy seeing the Super Hornio Brothers. We're nearly there. There's a Human Sexipede.
You don't really need to sexualise that one, do you?
Yeah, we've got the Texas Dildo Masquerade.
Masquerade.
Yeah, I've actually heard that's almost shot for shot the original Texas Chainsaw film, but obviously it's a chainsaw with a dildo attachment.
I think that warrants a watch.
Homework.
Or if you like your fantasy, Whore of the Rings. Apparently it's a mystical dildo they're looking for in that one. It's not a ring.
See, no, I would have thought it had been something like Lord of the Brown Rings or something like that, you know.
Or just leave it as Lord of the Rings.
Well, wasn't there like a
Lord
Lord
of
of
Her
the
Ring.
G-string or
I
something?
don't know.
And again, not trying hard enough, A Wet Dream on Elm Street. But then I'm not sure how I feel about Dude, Where's My Dildo? And the same again with Big Trouble in Little Vagina.
That's pretty good. I hope that's shot for shot.
Or would you go and watch Teabag of Ants?
I don't get that one.
You don't get Teabag of Ants.
Teabag of Ants.
Legend of Bag of Ants.
No, it's gone over my head there.
Golf.
Oh, I don't think I mentioned Pulp Friction.
Pulp Friction.
And last but by no means least, is just too weird. Foreskin Gump.
That sounds like something to see doctors about. doesn't it?
So I think
Jenny.
Foreskin Gump and Cliffbanger are kind of I quite like Moulin Spooge is kind of a good title.
Me and Jenny are like penis and twatters.
Life is like a box.
Or snatchers.
Just a box.
A box. Life is like a box, and I'm gonna penetrate yours. Has anyone got any...
Cock salad, cock gumbo. You're the owner of Bubba Gum Cock. Yeah.
Bubba Cum Shrimp?
Bubba Gum Shrimp. See, because I was going to suggest for homework, we all watch a porn parody.
I thought you were going to say we all try and come up with our own kind of...
excuse.
Instead of, instead of Run Forest, it'd be like Bum Forest.
Come, Forrest, come!
Oh, yeah, that's going to be it.
That's a better one.
I'm just trying to think of movies we talked about and if we can put them into
We
a
mentioned
porn.
ages ago, like, Pacific Rim Job.
Yeah, that's pretty easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't really know where we're going from there.
Well, I don't know if there's any segues on that.
I think we're just going to have to leave a moment of silence and then just jump into something else.
So if you'd like to watch Moulin Spooge.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?
Oh dear.
Anyway, we were talking about documentaries earlier, and I'm not sure if this was off camera, was it? I think Chud and Joe, you were talking about documentaries you've seen on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Now, last week, you mentioned to me, Chud, you were scrolling through the documentary section on Netflix, and you came across something called Terms and Conditions May Apply.
Yeah.
How have you gone ahead and watched it?
I put it on, but I put it on while I was doing other things, and I never got around to actually watching it, so no.
So the thing is, I had a spare hour last night, I had a shower, my hair was wet, I was waiting for it to dry so I could make myself look acceptable.
Sexy.
Yeah, sexy. Shut up, you faggot. Sorry.
You better hope that people haven't just jumped forward to this part.
Channeling Jonah Hill here.
Is that going to be the title of this podcast? Episode 15, Shut Up You Faggot.
I'll suck my dick, you faggot.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, speaking of yeah, I watched it. How much did you kind of get through? Because
Hardly. I'm just going to say I haven't seen it, because
Alright,
I
fair
can't
enough.
really remember anything.
well, I'll give you a quick sort of overview of it, and I'll give you a review in a sense that will make you not really want to watch it, because after watching this documentary, basically it's about, you know, there's that episode of South Park called the Human Centipede,
Yeah.
and basically it's about the whole like terms and conditions thing. You know, you scroll through and then at the bottom you click accept. You don't really know what
Nobody reads it.
yeah, because apparently Game Station for 1 day out of a year on their terms and conditions on their website, you know, you click accept or whatever, they put we have the rights to your soul or something like that.
Oh, right,
And like
okay.
7,000 people clicked accept, so technically Game Station owns about 7,000 souls. But it just kind of goes to show about that, and then it kind of moves on towards more of like being able to get all your details from what you sort of surf on the internet and stuff like that. And basically it made me not want to like put any of my information on the internet, because it's like so scary. Like after watching this documentary I was like, I don't even know if I want to go on Facebook anymore, because it's a bit like, I know I don't really go on there much. I think the last thing I posted was something to do with ChapterSkip, because that's all I post about. But like I was scared to go on it, because it's like, what about if like the government's watching me, and if I put something wrong they're gonna knock on my door and just
Government!
yeah. Did you call Jonah Hill a faggot? No, you got all mixed up. It wasn't me. Jonah Hill called
We've
somebody
brought
else
him
a
here and you can apologise.
I'm sorry, Jonah. If you want, I will suck your dick. So yeah, watch it with a bit of caution, a bit of heed, because it's quite scary in the fact that the information that people can get from what you search for on websites like Google and Facebook and Amazon and stuff like that, you're a bit like, hang on, because I don't know if you've ever searched for something on Google that you may be interested in, and then you'll go on Facebook and then you'll see
The adverts are related to.
yeah, or maybe a friend said that he was looking into something online, and then he watched something on 4OD, and they put adverts on, and it like sprung up things for things he'd been looking for. So
I
it's
find
kind
to
of,
get that with Amazon as well. You look
Yeah.
at the film and then you go on another site and it will suddenly come up with the film you just looked at on
Yeah.
Amazon. It's like, oh, go on
So-
Amazon and buy this. You're like, yeah, alright.
so obviously they are keeping some things that you search for, and it's like, yeah, it makes you not want to go on and search for anything. It's like, but then you'll never know any information, because
They can look at what I search for. I don't think it's going to be of any interest to them.
well, that's the whole thing. They do get into that, and
It's
it's
going
like,
to be people typing in porn, isn't it? That's what, they're going to assume everyone's just watching porn.
Well,
That's
they
what
did-
the
they-
internet's for.
they did something really good. Because after 9/11, the American government implemented what they call the Patriot Act, where basically they can sort of legally monitor your texts, phone calls, emails, what you search for online and stuff like that. And when it throws up red flag words, they basically come and like knock on your door. And there's a story in this documentary about a comedian, and basically he went to the Apple store and had to like wait in line for like 4 hours to get his like phone fixed or something. So basically, in his anger, he goes home, he sort of smokes a joint, puts on Fight Club, and basically he quotes a line from Fight Club about the bit where Tyler Durden's in work and he's like,
say something about blowing up the Apple store or something.
Oh, but basically in the movie they're like, maybe somebody could bring in a gun to work and there could be the next sort of massacre or whatever. And he quotes that, but instead of putting like work, he puts the Apple store, and then basically like government agents come and knock on his door and stuff like that. You're a bit like, oh Jesus Christ! So do be aware what you post online.
Sounds like a technology equivalent of some of the food ones they have now, like Food Inc. and just a few other ones that kind of put you off wanting to eat.
Yeah.
It sounds like a sort of equivalent.
Yeah, so that's the thing. But
something no one's going to put me off eating. What the fuck?
We watched that.
Clearly.
We watched that.
Apologise! Go Jimmy Fallon, apologise! I was offended by that. I was once a fat man.
I'm taking this to the highest authority on the internet.
Yeah. Jimmy Fallon, make Chud apologise. Make that fucking faggot apologise to Mark and me.
You sent me on it next week.
Who are you? Oh, I'm Chud.
Sorry, Mark.
Why are you here?
And then they're going to have, and just for you, Chud, here's a little boy who kicked you and called you a Jew once. He's come to apologise.
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
I'm never going to forget about that because it was just so random.
It was, bro. I never told you guys, I don't know if I told you guys about this. Years ago, I was walking through Peterborough town centre, and there was this little boy and his dad. Well, I assume it was his dad.
How little?
I don't know, he was 5, if that sort of thing.
Same size as you then.
And walking ahead of me, and I assume it's his dad, not a paedophile or anything like that, And randomly, the kid just turns around, looks at me, tries to kick me and calls me a Jew. And then walks off. That was it.
What were you wearing? Were you bearded at the point?
Yeah, I think so, maybe.
Yeah,
he was like 5 years old.
Was this pre-9/11?
No.
I was going to say post 9/11 you'd be an Arab or a Muslim or something.
Oh, this was probably about 5 years ago or something.
Because you stood outside the synagogue.
I was in absolute shock. I had a friend there with me as well. Who heard it. I was like, "You just called me a Jew and tried to kick me." Yeah. Oh, I don't know what to do about that.
Was it because you were picking pennies up off the floor? Oh dear, sorry.
Apologise. Right, let's all go to Jimmy Fallon.
We're going to apologise to each other. We apologise to everyone in the world.
I'm sorry to people that have been in pornos. I'm sorry to gay people. I'm sorry to black people. I'm sorry to Jewish people. I'm sorry to people that use the internet. And I'm sorry to Joe.
That racist Mexican accent.
Yeah, I'm sorry to Guillermo del Toro. Oh, blimey, I forgot about that. Wow.
We're sorry to Old Man Wang for calling him Old Man Wang.
Yeah. Sorry to Chinese people, Japanese people. I'm not sorry to Kim Jong-il, because we ripped him apart a couple of podcasts ago.
And I'm not sorry for insulting Piers Morgan. He looked like a gaping anus.
No, he is a cunt.
You might as well. You was on about the Jonah Hill thing. I saw today another celebrity who's in trouble again, Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
So he was at a show or something, a theatre show.
Yeah.
And he stood up and started shouting at everyone on the stage, and then he's like, "Do you know who the fuck I am?"
Douchebag.
Yeah.
See, the thing with Shia LaBeouf is, if you go back to the very first podcast that we did, Volume 1, Part 1, we talked about a reason that we were away from ChapterSkip. We did a podcast to kind of keep everyone updated. And I told people about my trip when I went to the Berlin Film Festival. Right. And we got talking about Shia LaBeouf and him turning up to the premiere with a bag on his head saying he's not famous anymore. And then that got us leading to talking about an art exhibition that he did where he basically sat in a room and people could like poke him and take the piss out of him and stuff. And basically he's gone on a downward spiral. And up until this point, because I got... my girlfriend posted the picture or told me about it or tweeted me about him going into this place or whatever. And I was a bit like, yeah, I think it's kind of like an artistic statement. It's almost like, yeah, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to sort of be a bit out there, a little bit quirky, and I could appreciate that. But then when he starts like dicking on people and like ruining people's times, it's a bit like, ruin your own shit. You know, if you want to make an art exhibition where people make fun of you, go ahead and do that. If you want to turn it to a premiere in a movie that you're in a bag on your head, go for it. That's kind of cool. That's kind of avant-garde. It's kind of out there. But if you go into like, I don't know if it's like a restaurant or whether it's like a show and you like heckling people and just being a dick, you know, that's kind of crossing the line.
But is he having a proper meltdown or is it all attention?
Don't know. Apparently he looked a bit like a hobo. He's wearing like just like a t-shirt and jeans.
God damn
bit
it,
grubby.
people with that much money are not allowed to have fucking breakdowns. Fucking son of a
Cap on.
bitches.
And apparently he went up to like one woman, like started speaking to her, and she was like, he was so weird, I thought like he was maybe like sort of researching a role or something in being like a twat or something. So maybe he is. Maybe his next role is going to be like the best
That's
thing.
Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
Well, surely it'd be easier to just lead him into a psychiatric home. Like, come on, Shia, we're going to do the new Transformers movie here. Look, just through this door, there's Bumblebee there, waiting for you. Look, it'd be great. Get him!
Won't be long till he's dead.
You apologise to Shia LaBeouf right now. We don't care if he's a cannibal living in the woods. We apologise.
That sounds like a fucking threat.
Right.
That's going to come up on their
They
fucking
usually
thing
end
now.
up
If I had fucking government on my door tomorrow,
Yeah.
you're getting an angry phone call from
How
me.
long has Joe been angry with Shia LaBeouf?
They usually end up
Oh,
having
ever
a
since
breakdown or
Indiana Jones, I
die,
think.
killing themselves on drugs or something.
So I don't think it'd be that drastic. I think he's kind of like a non-hardcore like breakdown. I think, you know, he'll probably dick around for a little bit, maybe dress a bit weird, do an art exhibition, probably piss a few people off, but then people are like, right, you're on a downward spiral, try a bit of this.
Is
He'll be
it
like,
because-
no thank you, I don't take drugs. I'm Shia LaBeouf.
Do you think it's because he wants to be in the next
I'm
Machete
so
film?
wiki. Hey?
Do you think it's because he wants to be in the next Machete film or he wants to be in a Robert Rodriguez movie? Because obviously Charlie Sheen had a meltdown, Robert Rodriguez cast him in a film.
Yeah, Mel Gibson had a
Yeah,
meltdown.
he cast him.
Yeah.
Is that what he's going to do? He's like, if
Lindsay Lohan had a meltdown.
if I'm a complete cunty twat, I can be in a Robert Rodriguez film.
Maybe that's it. Maybe he's trying to get himself into the better roles.
Into a
Maybe
good movie.
He doesn't want to be in a Transformers movie. Maybe he doesn't want to be in crap Indiana Jones
Is that
movies.
already out in
You don't want to be
America?
the clean cut guy.
Yeah, he wants to be a rebel. Transformers 4 is not out in the UK, I don't think. I think
Is
it
that in
comes
the
out
States? 'Cause I saw
this
a few-
Friday or maybe
Oh, right.
next Friday.
So it must be out in the States because I saw a few things about like how the fuck why is it made all that money? Why are people going to watch it? So I'm
Yeah,
guessing
apparently
it's
like
abysmal.
it's one of the biggest selling movies so far this year, and like that's including Godzilla, X-Men, you know, A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Which I'm surprised because they've gone downhill since the first one was a kind of a surprise, and it was like because you're expecting shit and then you watch it and go, oh, it wasn't as shit as I thought.
But the thing is,
And
they've
then the
gone
rest were a
downhill.
jumbled mess.
Even more sequels they've done, but they
Yeah.
didn't start on a really high
No.
platform anyway.
It
Did
started
they?
on slightly above average just because it exceeded expectations. And
So it
then
really didn't for me because I was such a kind of. I expected it to be a bit more sort of campy and kind of fun, where
Yeah,
it kind
right,
of
right.
wasn't. I think they tried to make it fun with like crappy little jokes where.
his family, yeah, his mum and dad, are just
Yeah.
like get rid of them and the crappy agent
Yeah.
bloke.
And it's a bit like, yeah, I get that you're making a live action film, so you probably have to have human characters in it, but the Transformers was pretty much just about the Transformers, because in sort of preparation for it to come out, because I probably will go to the cinema and watch it, and then maybe do a quick review for it. But I went back and watched the 1986 Transformers, the movie. Have you guys seen
Oh,
this?
cool. Yeah.
Not for a long time.
So good.
Is it Unicron?
Yeah.
The big planet thing?
Yeah. And
With
like,
Orson Welles.
Orson Welles as
Doing the voice.
Unicron. You've got Leonard Nimoy as Galvatron. You've got
Yeah, they're all in it, yeah. I haven't
And-
seen it for a while, but it was...
yeah. I went back and rewatched it, and I was like, this is like the best thing ever. Like the animation's a bit crude, so it makes it even better. The story was a bit like, I don't remember them killing off like so many of the most famous Autobots so quickly, but apparently I did some research into it. They wanted to bring out a new line of toys, and obviously like Optimus
right.
had sold, and Ironhide and Bumblebee and all and they were like, right, we can't just revamp them, so maybe we need to bring in a few more people. So they brought in like Cup and RC and Hot Rod and Galvatron.
I
and
still
stuff like
never
that.
understood. They all turn into cars and planes and what. Megatron turned into a gun. Never got that. Never understood that ever. And it could change shape because it was like a massive gun, and then it could be a little gun that one of the Transformers, the Decepticon, could hold him and shoot him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
The
I've
thing
never understood
The
that.
thing is about Megatron and Starscream is they hate each other and they rip
that
the piss
fight
out of
for
each
power.
other. But then like Megatron's like, right, I'm going to transform, shoot me. Starscream could just be like, no, shoot your fucking self. I turn it into like an airplane or whatever. You turn it into a gun. You're a bit shit. And then Unicron turns Megatron into Galvatron, who then turns into a slightly bigger gun. It's like,
So with
wow.
Transformers and obviously the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film coming out, are there any cartoons from your childhood you'd like to see done as a live action movie?
That's an interesting
Captain
one.
Bucky O'Hare.
Would that work as live action though?
Probably. I don't know.
I was waiting for you to like Biker Mice or something.
Yeah, like Mice Street Sharks. Do you guys
Do you
remember
remember
that?
Centurions?
Yeah. Oh,
I
Street
don't.
Fighter.
I remember. I think I had like a drawing book and it had Centurions on the front of it, and I hear it'd be an awesome one. I don't know if you guys have ever watched it, but Visionaries.
Yeah, the holograms, weren't
That
they?
would be so good. Imagine that as like a live action, because that's like predominantly based around humans that get like these powers with their, they get a totem and they get like a staff or whatever, and they can turn it into different animals. That would actually make a pretty good
Come on the
movie, I
back
think.
of Mask, didn't it? Was Mask first and then Visionaries?
I'm not sure. But I think there's a link between Visionaries and Transformers, because I think some of the guys that do the voices for some of the characters in Transformers do the voices for Visionaries.
right, okay.
So, well, I think they sound a lot
I
like
don't know
them.
if I ever saw it, but I remember what it was.
I think, like, I actually really want to go back and rewatch it. Like, I think it would be something that'd stand up sort of today. Like, if you like things like the Transformers 1986 movie, that kind of animation and sort of, I think you'd like Visionaries. So,
Did you ever see the... Sorry, go on.
no, I was going to say that would be my pick for a live action movie.
I think maybe the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, or they have to put up with that whiny unicorn and that annoying boy, but...
I never saw so much of that. I think I used to watch it when I was a kid, but I don't remember a lot of it.
I just
Didn't they go on
remember
like
a roller coaster ride and then randomly ended up in another world. And sometimes it was annoying, but when they got it right, there was a really good one with the Avenger, the main bad guy, and then they had to team up with him because it turned out he had like an evil boss who was coming to destroy the world, and they had to then team up to fight off this evil boss, and it was like, fuck me, that's a really good episode.
What about maybe something like He-Man, Thundercats?
Well, He-Man's kind of
They've already done
happened,
He-Man.
isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah,
Dolph Lundgren.
oh
Have you seen that one?
obviously I blanked that from my memory.
Well, that could be your homework. Really, it's more homework.
I'm watching Thirst.
Oh, yeah.
Dolph Lundgren owns it.
It was Dolph
Courtney
Lundgren, yeah.
Cox. Courtney Cox. I quit.
Wow, that sounds like a...
It basically, it starts,
It was.
it's in Eternia for 5 minutes and it's like, yeah, we're in New York now. So you're kind of like, oh, why did you do a He-Man movie if you're going to set it in New York?
and put Dolph Lundgren in it.
It's Dolph Lundgren. It's alright.
What about you, Joe? You got any thoughts on this one?
Fat Albert.
I really don't know.
No one else knows what that is, do they?
Fat Albert.
It was a Bill Cosby thing.
Yeah, I know Fat
He done the
Albert.
voices.
Hey, hey, hey.
That's it, yeah.
That one, yeah. I don't know.
No.
You guys got anything else?
I'm trying to think what other awesome cartoons from my childhood.
Yeah, I know.
We mentioned
There's-
stuff
I think
like
I've
that.
just
I can't
burned through
remember.
them. What about
Yeah.
Captain Planet?
Oh.
Go Planet!
Yeah. Earth,
No.
fire, water, wind,
I think it just made me angry.
love.
yeah. It was a bit like, oh, it's too preachy there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was one of those kids who'd watch it, and then they always done the little preachy bit at the end. Well done, kids. Thanks to the environment. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to change the channel now. Don't care.
Turtles is on.
Yeah.
Probably X-Men or something
Have they not done, they've not done a live
like
action
that.
movie?
Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, probably.
Yeah, I don't think they've done a movie of that.
I don't know. Ghostbusters.
Right, just give me some spoilers, Joe. Leave the room.
I really don't know.
Yeah. I hate to break it to you, Joe. They made movies of those. Some of them were shit. Some were awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
Did everyone finish Fargo, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah, again, I'll go out the room. I ain't seen
That's
it.
what, no, I won't. I just wanted to say one.
Yeah, I finished it.
Yeah.
Turns out, last week we were speaking about it. I'm not sure if it got picked up because we had a bit of a calamity.
Yeah, it didn't.
But
I
I
think
said
you'd
that I was
seen
on
it,
the
didn't
last
you?
episode.
Yeah.
I was actually on episode 9, so I had 9 and 10 to watch. So I was like,
right, yeah, because I'd finished
and
it at that point.
Those 2 episodes were fantastic, and the whole series, like, great. Like, I would put it up there with the Breaking Bads, with the True Detectives, with the
Such a short space of time as well.
Yeah.
So there's only 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Is it finished? Like,
Yeah.
What? As in,
But-
is it going to be another series?
I did hear they are doing a second
I presume
season.
if there is, it's just going to be following
Because they've got
the cop do it on a different case.
Yeah, apparently it's supposed to be a different set of characters, different stories.
So,
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
if they're doing the same way and they keep the characters like they developed the characters well, because their whole
really
development
enjoyed
of
the
like
film.
Lester as the character, I thought was fantastic.
And to have a jump of like 1 year later, it was kind of like, oh, hang on, but it just seemed
I enjoyed
it
it,
worked
yeah.
well.
I'll have
Maybe
to
if
check
they
it
do
out.
it the same way as they've done the American Horror Stories, same actors but different
Yeah, that was good.
roles. Maybe, I don't know.
I think they could get different people in it, and it could work if they
They'd have to
keep
get the,
the
right
same
people
sort of.
because they're a strong cast, really.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
loved the film. I seen the film when it first came out. I loved the film, but I ain't seen the series yet.
But I mean,
I thought you started it, Jay.
Oh,
sorry, I
Dust
thought
to
you-
Dawn, I ain't seen none of them.
I need to start that next.
Dust-
But like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna expect like good performances from people like Martin Freeman and Colin Hanks and Bill Odenkirk. But then, like, I thought that
Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, Billy Bob
Oh,
Thornton
yeah.
was
It was
fantastic.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not usually that bothered about what he does, but it was like, he fucking nailed that.
But like
Really
the lady cop, the main girl, I'm
Yeah,
not sure
yeah,
what
yeah.
her name is, the actress, but like I thought she was fantastic as well. You know, she was really good.
It's like a
And
pregnant woman in
her
the film.
dad as well
Yeah.
was great as well. As like his character, I thought was quite good.
Yeah, yeah.
He wasn't one of the main characters, but he was somebody I could probably warm to because he come across as like a really sort of likable character.
But I like how it done things. I'm not going to spoil anything for Joe mentioning the
Yeah,
characters, but I like how it
right.
done things was kind of introduced a character, and you kind of getting in, and then like, oh, you're pretty much just there so you can get killed off by someone else. You know, oh, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
But no, it was good. Thoroughly.
Because I was watching Dust to Dawn each week, and I'm bored with that. Really, got bored.
You didn't
with that.
finish it, yeah?
I'm
So I
on
haven't
episode
started.
I got bored of it. I was right near the end. I was right near the
I'm
end
not
of
bored of
and I
it
got
yet,
bored of it.
but I just haven't had time to get those.
I haven't started it yet.
Probably
I can't
because I
remember.
didn't go straight for it, like went straight for it, sort of thing. You know.
I have to watch it with the girlfriend, so I can't watch it when I want. Yeah.
Going back to we mentioned, you said about Facebook and don't put a lot on there. I noticed you. There was a trailer I put on the other day, and you'd liked it, Mr. Go. Did you guys watch it at all?
I didn't actually
No,
watch it. I see that you
I'm
posted.
probably
it.
going to do a review on that soon. I think.
Fucking
'cause
gorilla playing.
It's a Korean film about a circus gorilla. The circus shuts down. He ends up joining the baseball team, and it's like. Watched it and I thought, actually, it looks pretty fucking good. It doesn't look as dumb as it sounds.
They made something like that in Hollywood sort of film
King
where
Kong.
it's like about
Well, they've-
baseball with like a gorilla or a monkey or something. Playing
I know they have
baseball.
stupid films with dogs
I've
playing
seen that
basketball and
before.
chickens playing
Oh,
golf.
no.
I've seen
Space
something like
Jam.
Space Jam.
Hey,
No, I don't know, but I just
You
thought
leave
this.
Space Jam alone.
Leave Space Jam
that.
alone.
What's it called? Buddy or
Space Jam alone.
Air Buddy or
Air Buddy or
something,
something. Air Buddy, yeah. Air Buddy.
Yeah, normally movies with talking animals don't
Dr. Dolittle.
normally.
You don't like the anthropomorphization of animals?
No, I'm
Dr.
not keen
Dolittle.
on it. I just don't. I don't feel them as characters. I can't delve into their psyche. You
You ever
know.
seen Homeward Bound?
I like
Probably not.
No, you never seen Homeward Bound?
Good film. What was that?
Just
Beethoven?
me.
The dog and the cat.
Beethoven.
Dog.
Remember that?
What
Beethoven?
other
Cat.
animal?
Oh, I can't remember. Yeah, there was another animal. I can't remember what it was.
Remember
No,
Beethoven?
no, I can't.
Yeah, he didn't talk though. Well, actually,
He was a shit dog.
To be honest, in Homeward Bound, they don't talk. You just hear their
Yeah.
thoughts.
Yeah.
I suppose they're now doing a big journey home.
They're homeward bound, are they?
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of homeward bound, that's probably it for us right now. Unless you got
I wanna-
anything super important to talk about, Mark.
I had only two more things. You heard about the Predator reboot?
Yes.
No.
No.
I've heard about it. Yeah.
Although apparently
Forgot about
now they've said it's not going to be a reboot. It's going to be an inventive sequel. The only odd thing
It's
is
going to be done by Shane
It's
Black,
already-
Shane Black who did Iron Man 3, but
it. There's
it's
already a
been-
sequel. It's called Predator 2.
I think it's maybe to Predators. I'm not sure. Or this will be Predator 3 technically. But he said
Right,
that
right,
Shane
right,
Black
that's
is directing it, and it's scripted by Fred Decker. So it's going to be a Black and Decker production.
Hey!
Fucking odd is that?
I didn't mind the Robert
Well,
Rodriguez
Fred
one, that
Decker,
was good.
he's almost good credentials. Right, he did write RoboCop 3, but he did do the Monster Squad, which Shane Black also co-wrote, and that film's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck yes, Monster Squad. Jesus.
Yeah.
So if the two people who did the
Yeah, a while
Monster
ago.
Squad are going to do Predators, or Predator, alright, completely different sort of film, but fuck it, that's in good hands, surely.
That's not on Netflix, is it? Monster Squad.
Isn't it really?
I was on telly a while ago. I
I
watched
dunno.
it again.
Brilliant film.
Such a good film. Kick him in the nuts.
Well, man, don't got no nuts.
I had one other thing, if you want me to quickly whip it out there.
Yeah, go on, whip it out there, Mark.
You know how remakes make me angry?
Yeah.
They're going to remake Audition. You seen that one?
Uh,
Takeshi Miike film.
no.
It's about a guy, I think his wife died of an illness years ago, and his son's been, I think he's been single for like 15 years or something, and his son, and that kind of like, you need to get back out there, Dad, you need to find yourself someone, and he's got a friend who's casting for a film, and then they set up a fake casting thing so he can use it as a way to meet a woman.
I've seen
and
this.
I've seen it. The whole, if you don't know what it's about, you'll think you're watching a rom-com
Yeah, no, I've seen this.
or a romantic drama until the last half
You
hour,
made me
20
watch
minutes.
this, I think.
I don't enjoy it, did I?
No, you told me to watch it.
And it goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, it's
The,
good.
the girl he meets isn't quite right, and it gets really visceral at the end.
Yeah, really good ending.
But I don't know. You know what I'm like with remakes.
All right then. Speaking of movies we've mentioned, and Chad, you mentioned it a minute ago. Homework. Have you seen Audition?
No.
Maybe you could watch that.
Okay.
I shall watch Thirst. Thirst.
Oh, there's a lot. Yeah. So it's a Korean film and
yeah.
Japanese film. It's just
So,
me and Joe now.
Yeah. What can you?
I've got a
How
million
about-
ways to die unaware. Tall, blonde,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
it is.
You watch
Okay.
Tall
What
Hot
else?
Blonde.
What's
Yeah,
the
Tall
other
Hot
films?
Blonde.
All the
Tall
other,
Hot
all the other
Blonde.
films
You can
you
watch
talked
Porn
about as
Parody.
well.
You can
Watch
watch
Tall
Star
Hot
Wars and Moulin Spooge.
No, you just said about loads. What I missed.
Yeah. Choose one of those. We'll give you free reign this week, Joe. You can watch Tall Hot Blonde. You can watch A Million Ways to Die in the West, or you can watch whatever.
Moulin Spooge.
Moulin Spooge.
There's another one you talked about. What I said I ain't seen yet. Fargo.
Well, let's not overwhelm you with too many choices.
Fargo. That's it.
And just need something for Mark. I would say go watch Terms and Conditions May Apply, but it's a bit like if we keep giving you documentaries, it's like maybe something else, something different. How about watch a couple of episodes of Visionaries?
I'll watch because I've never watched Visionaries. I'll do that.
Have you not?
Oh, okay.
I don't think
that'd
of
be
it.
amazing.
I remember the toys because I remember seeing them with little holograms on
Yeah.
the chest. Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Probably
I've
need
never
to
watched.
get a
I've
couple,
never
Things
watched the
had
cartoon.
holograms on,
you
didn't
probably need to get a couple episodes in, just because obviously there's like an origin story, so you need to see them get
No,
their,
I'll
get their
give it a
powers
rip
on.
then.
Yeah,
that'd be something different.
amazing. I think I might even go back and watch it, actually. So good. Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Realm.
I'm going to go find Monster Squad.
Such a good
Again,
film.
And then watch Audition.
Audition, yeah.
Right, so that wraps it up for another ChapterSkip podcast. Thank you so much for listening. We shall be back next week where we will give our reviews on the movies we've just mentioned. In the meantime, please go ahead and subscribe to our main ChapterSkip channel, subscribe to the podcast channel, head into the description and like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and on behalf of ChapterSkip, I'm Sean.
I'm Joe.
I'm Chad.
And I'm still Mark.
And we'll catch you guys again next time.
Cunts.
Faggot.
Yeah, leave that in.